What is going on, guys? It's Rude Slay. And hey, I know it's been a little while, but a lot has happened. And I just want to do some quick updates and, we'll go over everything. So, as you all know, as of November 10th, Entomb unfortunately was banned from the format. This is actually my very first video that I've released since the Entomb banning. I've been in the lab for everyone, doing a lot of testing, trying to figure out, where we need to go with the next iteration of Reanimator lists. And I want to go over a few lists with you, a couple that I did quite well in, and a couple challenges. And then we're also going to do a bonus league in this video with a new list that I have not run in a challenge yet, but I'm excited to try it. So, about a week ago, I ran this Stitcher Supplier list in a challenge, which we actually managed to get first place, and that was awesome. I will say that this list felt really strong. I've felt like a lot of blue decks right now are in the metagame, which is kind of why I opted to run this shell of like 4 Thoughtseize, the 12 main deck discard with the 3 sideboard discard. So you have 15 to try to battle like the Force of Will, Force of Negation, Tempo strategies. And this worked out perfectly. I ended up playing against, out of my 9 rounds, I want to say 6 or 7 of them were blue, some kind of blue like Tempo Shell. So the deck felt awesome. For all of you getting ready to play an Eternal Weekend and you want to run Turbo, this is certainly one of the lists that I would definitely recommend jamming. I think it's quite strong into an unknown metagame, and I do think that it can succeed quite well. On Wednesday, I made the finals of the Legacy Challenge. Lost to my good friend Tony Scapone on a well-fought Necro battle. Me and him always have, I would say, pretty much the best matches. I think Tony would agree. Out of all of our opponents that we play against a lot, that me and him, our matches are just like pretty much always awesome. There's always some kind of like weird thing going on one way or another. And yeah, our finals battle, it was nothing short of, spectacular. I don't currently have it recorded, but if you go on Tony Scapone's channel, you could definitely watch the full battle there. It was awesome. I think we played twice in the challenge on Wednesday. And this was actually the list that I opted to register on Wednesday. And so obviously noticeable differences is I'm playing with Putrid Imp over the Grave Reaver Stitcher shell, and I'm opting for a more just traditional 4 Archon, 4 Atraxa, 4 Gristlebrand with the 4 Imps. This list also felt really strong. I got paired into a lot of degenerate combo. There was just a ton of degenerate combo in the challenge on Wednesday, but this deck definitely held its own. And we tried the show and tell pivot because with Archon of Cruelty, I think this pivot's, really good. Show and tell with obviously Chanosmog is very good. This is something, if you follow my channel, I've run this pivot quite a bit. Something that Sai actually innovated and helped me innovate. And me and him have been kind of, I would say, the front runner pioneers trying to really push this juke archetype into the meta. But yeah, so this was the list that we played on Wednesday. List felt awesome. I wouldn't fault anybody if they sleeved up this list over the Reaver list. You take out some of the variables, like obviously you're not having to rely on your Stitcher suppliers to enable your creatures, and you don't have Grave Reavers, which can sometimes have a little bit of variance. But this list, nothing bad to say about it. It feels really good. And today, I am testing out a new list. It'll take a second for it to load. This is a Shallow Grave list. I've been getting a lot of people in the Reanimated Discord that have been trying to ask me to see if I can find a shell that makes Shallow Grave work. And so part of the problem and part of the reason that I've kind of drifted away from Shallow Grave and focused mostly on Exhume archetypes is without Entomb, you can't as reliably basically just have 8 copies of Gristlebrand in your deck to Shallow Grave for. You actually have to either draw the Gristlebrand or dredge it with one of your Surveil lands. So that's part of the reason that I haven't found it as strong as the Exhume, but I am going to try it today in the league. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so this is a more almost like traditional main deck. If you guys remember the old Entomb Shallow Grave list that we used to play on the channel. You have the 4 Gristlebrand, 4 Atraxa, and then 3 Archon, and Return of the old Borborygmos. That's right. This card, if you're playing Shallow Grave, you have Borborygmos in your deck, and I know a lot of you that love this archetype are excited to see the Borborygmos back in action. I am also excited to see it back in action. Hopefully we can Borb somebody, but no promises. And this mortuary right here, this should be another underground sewers. I'm not gonna buy the second sewers just for this league, but this should be another Undercity sewers for your 4 show and tells. I'm just running the 2 surveils just like this because it's all I have right now. But yeah, so the sideboard we have 4 Creation of Avacyn. These are basically tutors to search a creature out of your deck and they put it into play through like Graveyard Hate, stuff like that. We have 4 show and tells. The reason that I have the 2 Ionas in the board is mostly because I've been seeing just so much Omni Show, like a lot of Omni Show. And I think that Iona is just such a hammer in that matchup, especially when you're like running show and tells and creations. So I just really want to give Iona a try and see what happens. And we got 3 Leyline of the Void. These are pretty much strictly for like oops and 2 duress. So yeah, and I want to talk about the collective brutalities because these are back in the main deck. So the reason in this list that you're running the brutality, and I don't know if it's very obvious, but if you run Putrid Imp and Stitcher Supplier with Shallow Grave, what actually happens is you go to put a Shallow Grave on the stack. They can either bolt or fatal push that threat, which would then make the Shallow Grave return the Putrid Imp or the Stitcher Supplier, right? So because we're running Shallow Grave today, we have to play with Collective Brutality. For all of you that are splashing red, you in theory could actually play with Faithless Looting as well in this slot. I personally just like Collective Brutality, but it could, be Faithless Looting, Careful Study, whatever else you want it to be. So yeah, guys, this is the list. I hope you really enjoyed the 2 challenge lists and as well as my list I'm running today. We'll see you for round 1. All right, round 1. We have a turn 1 Shallow Grave Gristlebrand. We will certainly be keeping this hand. Glaring Fleshraker, sure. All right, so let's go crazy. See if we can end it right here. So, options. I could attack and just make an Atraxa. I could also, since I have 3 petals, I guess I'll just Brutality this. We'll just make an Atraxa here. That was a pretty crack shell grave hand if I ever did see one. I think post board, we definitely want the show and tells. Creation might be too slow, but it might be just fine. We could try something like this. Seems acceptable. Yeah, this hand seems great. It's got. If we get one more mana source, we just have a show and tell send off Gristlebrand. Alright, well, Chalice is a bit unfortunate. So we're just looking for, like, Lotus Petal here. And we have to pass. Grab the sewers. Don't need a land. Alright, let's send. Okay, they have Thought Knot. Alright, I think I'm just gonna pass here. Kozilek's command for 2, sure. That is totally acceptable. Alright, we'll draw some cards here. Couple unmasks. Alright, get that out of here. So if I draw again, I could maybe find like an Archon. Okay, there's Archon. They had all land in hand. Look at this Archon here. I should have definitely kept 2 lands. All right, guys. GG. Just like that, we are 1-0 in the Legacy League. We will see you for round 2. All right, round 2. Tan makes a turn 1 Atraxa or Gristlebrand. Let's see what opponent typically plays. A lot of Loampox, it looks like. I will keep this. Okay, let's see what happens. We have Shallow Grave, Reanimate, Gristlebrand, land. Seems good. Oh, that's so good. And we also just get an Archon here. Yeah, so we have like 23 damage, most of it haste. Wow, Shallow Grave is still just absolutely cracked. That was crazy. So against Pox, I do think I actually like Iona. I don't think they can beat it. I guess they do have Loam. Guess we can leave an extra Gristlebrand in here. Try something like this. Seems okay. I guess they do have Urza's Saga. Maybe Iona like isn't actually good enough. Yeah, it's possible I could be incorrect about that card. We gotta take a mulligan here. I mean, I think I'm gonna risk this hand. Just kind of like pray that they don't Thoughtseize me. Leyline of the Void's a good one. No follow up though. So we get creation. Can they beat Iona? I'm just gonna get a Traxa. It's like the safe play. Oh, Abrupt Decay. Oh man. Alright, that got me pretty good there. Considering that I kept a hand with no resources. Abrupt Decay pretty strong there. Okay. Do I want to make any changes for game 3? I don't think so. I mean, I guess if I know that they're actually going to mold a Leyline of the Void, I can bring in more fatties. Just to make show and tell, like, that much stronger. I think I'll keep this. Mold to 5. So they're going to dig hard for Leyline. Which makes sense. I think I just pitch my Archon here. Rid of the Smallpox. I think I keep the Ritual. So I'm just looking for really, like, any black card. Now I guess I can just pitch the Ritual. Bowmaster, sure, that's fine. Take the Decay. Now I Creation. And I grab... Yeah, just grab Traxa here. Alright, then I'll pass. Wasteland, yep. Now we're gonna get an Iona. We get Show and Tell. Delta, Dark Ritual. That should lock them out of the game. Looks like they agree. So yeah, guys. Hey, we won round 2. We are 2-0 in the Legacy League. See you for round 3. All right, round 3. Hand looks pretty good. Tundra. That's interesting. I think I'm just gonna go to cleanup here. Just discard the Atraxa. Might be a slower matchup. Alright, so this is beans of some kind. I'd rather they force the ritual than the payoff. So now they have to force this, and they choose not to. Let's force. Name force a will. Force a negation. Well then. Alright, I guess I'll make them burn it. Running Stifle, too. Arrow's a good one. So they have two endings in hand, and one unknown, I believe. Alright, Dark Ritual. Actually, can I just take Shallow Grave here? I think so. Unmask, Lotus Petal, Bristlebrand land. Alright, so now we get a Hasted Gristlebrand as well. Alright, sweet. We won game one. I don't know if they're actually playing with Leyline Bindings. Maybe I only need like 3 show and tells. Just do like a light juke. No, it's not true. I want all my show and tells. I don't think I want Creation of Avacyn in this matchup, knowing that they're probably bringing in Leyline Bindings, or they have Leyline Binding. This hand's just a mulligan. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. Bottom the brutality, I think. I did not get there, so I think I just have to pass. Unfortunate. Hopefully I can draw a mana source here and try to send. Brainstorm's a good one. Alright, well, sometimes stuff doesn't work out in your favor. If they have surgical, I'm kind of cooked, but I don't think I can play around it. Or oh, sure. They have 5 cards. I am going to pitch Gristlebrand because if they do surgical, I don't want to lose the one that's in my hand. Hmm. Yeah, bummer. So I have to take stock up, huh? Alright. I'm just going to send. They're going to force. So their only interaction right now is Plow. But they're going to get an Uro here. So I really just need to draw a mana source. Alright, come on, deck. Oh, Banestock, okay. I just need a land. We got there. Alright, well, I'm not dead because their only removal is swords. Okay, so they're going to be able to plow my guy. But I'm not dead. Question is now, do I play around counter magic or do I just send here? think it's too greedy to try to play this ritual. So I am just gonna dress here. Stifle. Okay. And they okay. So they just kind of had it all there. They had Containment Priest plus Stifle. All right. Duress, I don't think is as good as Brutality if they're playing with Containment Priest. All right, this hand's fine. I'll keep it. I think it has to just be Force of Will, unfortunately. If I draw a mana, I can send. I'm gonna try to high roll and spike a creature during their end step. Oh, they like that card. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna fetch. Now I think I just try to reanimate here. That just happened. Now I'm kind of feeling like they don't actually have a clean answer. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna try to Atraxa. That's fine. Kind of whiffed, but I get Brutality, Shellgrave, Land, Atraxa. So not the worst. Alright, so now I just discard some cards here. Alright, we'll see what he can do here. Guess he can blink in a Riddler, which is, like, pretty good. Beanstalk, sure. Alright, we'll get in there. I think that should be the game. I don't see how they can get around this show and tell. So if I take Riddler, I can therapy both the other discards and Archon. I could also just Brutality here and just play it safe. I'm not really in any danger of losing here, so I think this is fine. I'll just pay the 2. I don't need Shallow Grave anymore. Alright. GG's opponent. Well, guys, just like that, we are 3-0 in the Legacy League. You love to see it. See you for round 4. Alright, round 4. Here we are. Kind of a suspect hand. I think I'm definitely going to ship this. Can I afford to keep this? Let's take a look at what opponent's on before I make any decisions here. Painter is their last known deck. Red Painter, huh? Think? Just trying to think, is like this hand actually good enough? I don't think so. Okay. Keep this. Bottom these. Fury. That's pretty good. Magus is also pretty good here. So I need Lotus Petal or any of my basics. So, punished for electing to play with the Surveil lands. Rabble Master. Still can beat that if I find a land. But it needs to be quick. Alright, deck. Need a swamp. Alright. I think I'm going to give it one more draw. Hope to draw my Petal or Swamp. 5, 6, 7, 8. I might be out of reanimate range. I guess I'll find out in a sec here. Okay, I can still reanimate my Atraxa. Come on, deck. Ah, deck, you're killing me. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I think we have 5 or 6 basics in the deck. A little unfortunate. He's on like Rabble Masters and stuff. I think I actually do want creation. Alright. Let's try it with the shows. I think I need all 4 of my... Oh, I might have already queued, but I was going to put the 4th creation in here. I think this hand's a keep. It's missing a threat, but it has a lot of disruption and a lot of potential. I don't really think I care about the broadside. I do kind of care about Chalice. I'm going to take Chalice here, I think, guys. If he plays broadside off the Simian, I can actually brutality it. Chromox, sure. It's going to be a pretty good brutality. Question now is, do I do it now or do I wait? I think I wait. I'm really just looking for like a creature here. Alright, Fable was kind of a nightmare. I need Archon. Oh boy. Alright, well, getting a little punished here. I really need a creature. Another Bombardiers. Okay. Rough. Alright. GG's. Unfortunately, we have lost to Moonstompy. It happens. My draws just didn't really line up. I had a lot of outs, but obviously didn't get there. And we'll see you guys for round 5. Alright. Round 5. We have paired into Dandy Andy, who is quite friendly. I think this hand's pretty easy mulligan. I don't think I see it being very good here. It's like really clunky. Let me take a look at what they're playing. Red Stompy and Painter. So they're can I keep this against either one of those decks? Don't feel great about this. Traxa. I think I just if he has days, like he could daze this. That's fine. Underground Sea. Okay. The juke is real with the Scalding Tarn. Brainstorm's fine. So this could be like blue-black Reanimator, which would be kind of a disaster because our hand really isn't equipped to beat that deck. Alright, so it's just blue-black tempo. Take one of the two ponders here. They declined the shuffle. Just passing. I just unmask them here. Surveil land, okay. Wants to give themselves a little bit more information. I kept that on top. Hmm. I think I surveil myself here and let them wasteland me. Alright, that's pretty good. So now I think I take Murktide. And they have Kaito and 2 lands, one of which is a wasteland, but I have fetch. Just Thoughtseize. Okay. Tracks it into my bin. Alright, let's see it. Did not get there. Can still get there next turn, though. Depending on what our draw is. They're gonna have Kaito. Alright, so they can surveil 2. But they are not drawing a card. They left 1 card on top. Alright, I really need to find an animate here. Alright, perfect. Shallow Grave will take care of the Kaito. Animate dead. Reanimate. as the two cards. Bristlebrand land. When we kill the Kaito. Now, I think I like just making a Gristlebrand. Not really sure what I name here. I mean, I guess I can just name Days. It's the only card that really makes sense. Shield's Edict, okay. Alright, Petal. Dark Ritual. Gristlebrand. Brutality. That should be more than enough to win from this spot, because I'm going to be able to Brutality the Edict. Alright, sweet. We have officially one game won against Blue Black Tempo. You love to see it. Alright, so I definitely am interested in the show and tells. I guess dress is like fine-ish. What else do I want to cut here? Guess I can also just cut like one Shallow Grave. This seems fine. Just gonna do a light juke here with just the shows. This hand I can't keep. I gotta ship this. Okay, this one I'll keep. Am I supposed to bottom the sewers or the land? I think it's petal. Yeah. Tatsu's, okay. So my shallow grade's probably gone here, I would imagine. Alright, I think I'm just gonna surveil here. Tracks into my yard's pretty good. I think I just pass. Cameo, yep. Opponent's stuck on one land. The rest, pretty good draw. I think I send the dress here. Okay. I mean, I guess I take Force Negation because I have Therapies in my deck. A pretty funny hand. They had 4 Force of Wills in their hand. Ponder, yep. Interesting that they decided to wasteland me. That probably tells me that they have another land on top of their deck. Alright, well, we've been the Gristlebrand. Need to find some action soon. Alright, well that's kind of a nightmare, so now they can take my Thoughtseize. Man, I think I just passed though. This is rough. Yeah, and they have a second land even. If I don't draw like a Cabal Therapy ASAP, I do not feel like I'm probably gonna win this game. Alright. I'm gonna pack this game up. I don't think I'm winning from this spot. Too many just like blank draws in a row. I really needed to have some kind of gas like a Reanimator. Maybe a couple creations are actually fine and shave like a couple fatties here. I'm gonna try something like this. Seems fine. This hand needs lands. Really slow. Hmm. Maybe I keep it because Unmask is a live top deck. I'm not in love with this hand, but I don't know if I'm allowed to mulligan this matchup. Okay, so they're keeping on 6. I think I'm just gonna Thoughtseize here. Sorry, Duress. Alright, well, I'll take Force of Will. So they have double Tameo, Brainstorm, but no blue source currently. They just kept a basic Swamp as their only land. And they drew land for turn. Interesting. I guess they have the basic swamp, but it doesn't actually cast any of the spells in their hand. Wow. Am I supposed to therapy myself? I feel so greedy. I think I'm just gonna pass here. Really need to find my third mana source so I can start sending these show and tells. Alright, they left that on top. Mana makes sense. Okay, I think I just discard my Archon here. Getting kind of constrained on mana is pretty rough. Brainstorm, yep. Oh, man. Yeah, this is ugly. I need a land really, really bad. This Tamiyo might just beat me. Alright, Unmask is a good one, too. Man, I just haven't drawn what I've needed. It's been really rough. Just another Brainstorm, sure. Doesn't really matter. Actually, they can't crack Clue now. So it's either Daze or Force of Will that I name here. I think I named Daze. It's like, at least if they have Force of Will in their hand, they have to spend it. They have Kaito as well. Interesting that they didn't play their Bowmaster. They had End Step Bowmaster there. Kaito, sure. This is actually okay. I can Brutality here. See what they do here. Okay, they elect not to force, so we'll take force. Now we can Shallow Grave the Atraxa. Alright, we get a discard spell out of it. It's pretty good. I actually don't want Thoughtseize, I just realized I want Reanimate. We can kill Kaito here. I think that we take... the Orcish Bowmaster, I think I care about more than the Murktide. We could just also make a Gristlebrand here. I don't necessarily think that's better than just Atraxa here, though. Alright, Ritual. Brutality. Actually, we take Shallow Grave, right? Then we just Therapy Murktide Regent. And we can bin one of these Grisses. His best card to find here is for sure just Brazen Borrower. All right. GG's. Let me hit Andy with the GG's. Oh. I think Moto lagged out. But yeah, so we went 4-1, guys, with the deck. That's awesome. Just taking a second here to load. But, yeah. So this is, like, the Shallow Grave builds in general are something that I've been messing around with. I do think that they're pretty good. I've been testing mostly a Smog and Show list with, like, Putrid Imps and Exhumes. And then this is the list that I actually won the challenge with, was a Reaver Stitcher list that focused more heavily on just like Smog combo with Duress. So since the banning of Entomb, what I will say is that this archetype is wide open. There's a lot of different avenues that you can take trying to explore it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where we go. Losing Entomb was a very tragic loss, but I do think the deck has room to succeed, and I think we will succeed with the proper testing. And yeah, I hope you guys really love the league, and we'll see you next time.
Cut!